Okay, so we're live. We got about 10 minutes till we start. I'm just testing this out because I want to make sure everything works. I got my people in the background checking the sites and stuff. This is our first time trying it on both Instagram and Facebook. So hopefully we're doing well. So let's see.
I see it on Facebook, but I don't see it on Instagram.
Okay, go over there now and check. It says I'm live. Now, it shouldn't be under me personally. It should be under the business one.
Right, yeah, I know. No, it's not on there.
I don't know what it's connected to then. Hey, y'all bear with us. We are working through this whole Facebook and Instagram thingy, and hopefully it works. If not, we'll try again. Um, mhm. This is why we do it early. So, Miss Angela, just hang out. Once we get it all set up, then I'm going to share it and everything like that. Hey, Mr. Petty Michael, it's good to see y'all. Happy New Year. We got like 10 minutes, y'all, so just hang tight with me. I'm just trying to make sure we get this working. We had it working, and then, as soon as you go live, stuff gets funny, so we'll get it figured out. Mm. How was y'all New Year? Talk to me in the meantime. Tell me how your New Year's was, what you did, all of that wonderful stuff. Let's see.
I'm still refreshing. I'm going to pop up yesterday.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. We're going to try it again. My birthday kicks the year right off, and it's amazing. I love it. That's what I'm talking about. My niece's birthday was yesterday, so I had to tell her happy birthday. Check and see if you see it on Instagram now.
Okay, let me refresh it.
So somebody looks like Michael wants to get blocked early in the game, and he know my block game is strong, so I don't even know why he's trying me with this. But no. Well, oh, somebody said, and I bought a financial journal. Yes, I love that one. Now that I like. That stuff that Michael said was, some mess. So we're not even gonna entertain that. Okay, y'all. Well, I'm gonna fight with Instagram later because it's not letting me do it right now. I don't know. So for those of you who said I was gonna watch it on Instagram, I'm sorry. I tried like really, really hard. Okay. Well, I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
All right, bye. See, I had my crew in the background. We was trying this stuff, and y'all know, 2022 is starting off doing some other stuff. So, yeah, here we go. Okay, give me a few minutes. We still got about 7 minutes, and that way I can share it with some of these groups, and we'll get this all going and figured out. Hmm. You're feeling 2022? I like it. I like it, y'all. Just come on in, make sure you share, bring your friends, invite somebody, all of that wonderful stuff. Give me a few minutes. Like I said, I'm trying to get this whole thing figured out here. I'm using a whole new platform, if you can't tell from the tickers and all of that stuff. And so it's kind of, difficult. Now, I will go ahead and say this. For those of you who are Michigan fans like me, I realized that there was a team that beat us. Ref cheated. And so what we're going to do is We're going to cheer for that team because I'm going to just be honest with y'all. As much as I roll tide, my friends who had talked so much stuff about Alabama being so great, I can't even cheer for them. Like, it frustrates me to the level that I can't cheer for them at this point because they were annoying. And that's just the nicest way to put it. So, yeah. Now, give me a couple minutes. I'm going to share this to a couple groups. And then we're going to get this thing going because I'm excited about today's thing. Now, as soon as we get started, I'm going to go over a little bit of house rules to make sure that we're all handling business. Because once we start, we're not going to talk anymore about Georgia or Alabama or Michigan or the one and only great, the University of Michigan. So, yeah, there's that part. And I'm going to make sure we get through this because I want to make sure that I get through this in a timely fashion for you guys. We were trying to try out some new stuff, and I'm going to keep working with it, and hopefully eventually we'll get this thing going like it's supposed to be. Now, make sure you guys, if you have questions, go ahead and add them at any point. And once I finish going over today's topic, I will go back and answer all credit questions that I can live. And then if there are any additional questions, or if you need direct or personal assistance, you can always contact us. Our website address and our phone number is scrolling across the bottom. That way we make sure that y'all have it no matter what. So yeah, we're just trying some new stuff. I got a couple more groups, got about 4 more minutes. So I'm gonna try to, I started this early enough that I thought that we could, be going right on time, if not before time. Because I want to be able to start at exactly 2 p.m. 2022 is going to be a great year. It's going to be even greater if Georgia wins the national championship. I just want to go ahead and say that. And that is because I am the queen of petty. I just want to be really clear with you. I'm super petty. When it comes to sports, I am not a team player. I do not, like, everybody has that whole, we're going to do great and I'm going to be a team player and take my losses on the chin. Nope, I'm a sore loser. I don't like to lose. I'm not the person who, when the game is over, will shake your hand. I don't want to talk to you for 6 to 8 weeks, especially if you wasn't cheering for my team. I did block some people who who messaged me about some stuff. So if you come with it, I'll block you. 2022, my block game is strong. Okay? And I want you to hear that emphasis on that g. Strong. Because I'm not. I'm not even trying. I used to try. I don't even try with that no more. Like, nah. We're going to do great things. So we blocking everything that's not going to make us better. Now, y'all bear with me a few seconds. I only got, I think, like 3 more groups to put this in. I think I did this, but I don't remember. We are demanding and requiring peace. That part right there. We are demanding peace. See, that's the part I'm talking about right there. I don't want there to be any confusion. That's all I want. That's it. Y'all saw that? Y'all saw that? Demanding peace. Now, one of the things that I want you to do is I'm going to need y'all to talk back to me. And since y'all can't come on here live, or I shouldn't say can't, since y'all won't come on here live with me, I'm going to need y'all to make sure that y'all comment and talk back to me, because otherwise I just feel like I'm rambling and I'm not really comfortable doing that. Like, it feels like I'm wasting y'all time, and I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to get through this and y'all like, man, I ain't even watching no more because she just be going on tangents. And I will, because y'all don't talk back to me and tell me, hey, This is what I need, because that's what I want to answer is what you need. I still haven't received my invite. When I bring you on live, you're going to understand about that whole invite. I got you, Michael. I'm going to bring you on here too. Since you said I haven't received mine, you're going to get it. You will get it. That's my favorite. We all need it. Trust. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so good afternoon. Happy 2022. I am Millie with Credit One USA, and you are joining us live for Talk to Me Tuesday. I am super excited about this. I am trying out some new stuff, so just bear with me. Give me feedback. I need y'all throughout this broadcast to tell me y'all can hear me, you can see me, everything's working well. Y'all not getting no crazy echoes. It is supposed to be broadcasting simultaneously on Instagram. Hopefully it is. If it's not, work with me. We've been trying. Hey y'all, say hi to me, talk to me. I'm gonna talk to y'all. I need y'all to talk back, and we're gonna make this thing work. If this is your first time joining me, again, I am Millie. My name is up there with Credit One USA. And this is as a part of our 750 Score Challenge, Talk to Me Tuesday. Every Tuesday, I go live from 2 to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time and discuss various credit topics. Today's topic, which I'm super excited about, is it's a question I always get. Hey, they call me up and they're like, hey, Millie, got a phone call about this bill. Do I need to pay that? And you're like, I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. I don't know. Maybe you do and maybe you don't. So let's just get into it. What happens when we get those phone calls, randomly? First of all, we do need to answer the 800 numbers. 2022, we're answering 800 numbers. 800, we got 800 friends. We got 888 friends. We got 877 friends. We got plus 256 friends. They're all our friends, except for Scam Likely. Scam Likely is still not my friend. But yes, that's what I like to hear. Scam Likely still not my friend. Scam Likely doesn't have to be your friend. But outside of that, we're answering all the calls this year. We're not running. We're not hiding. I got it. I got you. I don't have it. I'm not doing it. It is what it is. But we are definitely answering the phones all 2022. So I'm sorry. I shared it everywhere except for on my own page. Now, if you haven't done so already, I want y'all to go ahead, take a minute, and share this on your Facebook page. If you're watching this, share it with somebody else, because y'all reach people I can't reach. So I need your help so that we can reach more people. Really important. And for those of you who have shared it, thank you so much for sharing. That really means a lot to me. It is actually what helps us stay relevant and helps me keep coming up with good topics and makes this all worthwhile, because otherwise I'll do something else. So there's that. Now that we got the housekeeping out of the way, sharing is caring, okay? So make sure you're sharing. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So I get the calls, and their members are calling and they're saying things like, do I really need to pay this bill? And the short answer is maybe. Now, why is it maybe instead of yes or no? Because there's a lot of things that go into it. I'm from Michigan, Pontiac, Michigan, to be specific. And if I get a phone call and they're like, hey, this is XYZ with POH Hospital, bro, that's not my bill. Why is it not my bill? Yes, Pontiac Osteopathic Hospital. I don't even know if it still got that name anymore, because it changes a lot. I think it's like McLaren or whatever. Anyway, it's a hospital. I visited it But the last time I visited that hospital was when I was pregnant with my son, who'll be 16 in a couple days. That ain't my bill. If you got my name, I don't know who used it. You probably want to track them down and get your money, because I ain't got nothing for you but good looks. Anyway, I don't have anything for you. So the very first thing that you want to do is validate the debt. Just because you called me and you know my social and you got my phone number and you know my address does not mean that I'm responsible for that debt. So the very first thing I'm going to say to them is, okay, well, I'm unaware of this debt. Can you send me the information in writing? Now they're going to reply back to me and say, what address should I send it to? The one you got on file. Well, can I get you to verify your social? It's the social that you provided. Well, can you verify the last numbers? I can't. Can you verify your employer? Can you verify your mama's maiden? No. I can't verify anything to you, but I don't trust that the information that you're trying to collect on is right. So I need you to send it to me in writing so I can deal with it. The reason I want it in writing is because a lot of times they're scammers, especially during this season. There are scammers everywhere. I remember my former mother-in-law called me one day and said, Millie, I just paid this bill. You're going to be so proud of me. I paid this $250 bill because they told me they were coming to arrest me. No, they can't arrest you for no bill. Go call and cancel your credit card. Get your money back, boo. That ain't right. Get your money back. But that was a scam, and she was nervous because they had her job information, and she didn't want to go to jail, and I don't either. So the very first thing, like Miss Angela said, look at somebody taking notes. Validate the debt. Now, how do you validate the debt? You ask for them to send it to you in writing. When they send it to you in writing, you want the full history of the account. So, because I don't want to just validate that you are and that I went to Pontiac Hospital, I need to know, when was the date of service? Because if you tell me the date of service was in 2019, it wasn't me. Now, if you tell me the date of service was in Mikey was born in 06. So 2005, that was probably me. But there's a thing with that, which brings me straight to number 2, the statute of limitations. Every state has their own statute of limitations, and that says how long you can pursue me and collect on this debt, aka sue me. Now, you can ask for your money till the cows come home, but there's a limit of time before you can take the next steps, i.e. sue me. Because, at the end of the day, nobody wants to go to court over this, because once you go to court over this, that can extend how long they can collect the debt and increase how much they can get. So, number 2 is make sure that after we validate the debt, check the statute of limitations. So most states' written statute of limitations is 6 years. That is not every state. So you have to check to see what your state statute of limitation is for written contracts as well as oral contracts. Because however you entered into this deal and however this validated debt shows up is going to be important. Now, why is the statute of limitations important? Because if I live in Alabama and my statute of limitations is 6 years and you can't sue me after 6 years, I may or may not pay you. It's just that simple. If there is no penalty for not paying you, you might not get this money back. So if they contacted me about a debt from 2005 in Michigan, from when I went to the hospital pregnant with my son, good luck, bro. Now, typically I'm a bill payer, so I probably paid it. But just know, based on the year, you're not getting anything. This boy finna be a whole adult by himself. I'm not paying for something I did when I was pregnant with him. That just doesn't even sound right. And he shouldn't. And you shouldn't pay on that stuff. But that's why it's important to know. So Once you check the statute of limitations, the next thing that you want to do, well, of course, we validated it. We made sure it's yours. Um, we made sure that this company, the next thing you want to do is make sure that this company has the ability to collect this debt. So, one, I asked for the validation. Two, I'm looking at the limitations. Three, I'm making sure this company is legit. Validate the debt and the debt collector, because I don't know. Franklin Collections could be calling you on a debt that has been now with Metacredit, and you actually don't need to pay Franklin Collections. And if you pay Franklin Collections, they may apply it to a different debt instead of the debt you want to pay. They may apply it to one from 2012. Well, that's not the debt I wanted to pay, because that ain't even reported on my credit no more. I really don't care about that. I care about this bill from 2020 that's dropped my score 78 points. So, number 3, validate check the collector. Check the collector. It's important. Just like we check and make sure the debt belongs to us, make sure the company can collect on the debt. Oh, that's going to be my person right here. I like Miss Angela, you taking all kind of notes. I love it. I don't know who this person is, but they're about to get blocked. Yeah. So you want to make sure that they're collecting on the debt as well. Okay. So we validated the debt. We checked the statute of limitations. We validate the collector. Now, once we make sure all of these things are right, now here's a quick tidbit, and I'm going to jump in here real quick and I'm going to get back on it. If this is beyond the statute of limitations, or if the debt is known or should have known is uncollectible, you may be entitled to legal recourse. What that means is they're violating the law, and the law says if you violate the law, there are some penalties for that, aka money back to you. In which case, you want to contact a consumer rights attorney. What's it called? A consumer protection attorney. Here we will refer you to United Legal Team or one of a couple of lawyers that we work with and law groups that we work with. But there is a such thing as legal recourse. So they can't do wrong by you and then it's just okay. So this is why these things are important. Now, moving right on. Once we validate the debt and we know, hey, yep, it belongs to me. Yep, it was right. Yep, it's still within the statute of limitations and they can sue me. Now we're going to move into, yep, this is the right company. Now we're going to move into those settlement offers and making deals and making agreements and things of that nature, because we actually don't want this on our credit. We don't want to get sued for it. We do want to put the past behind us. The most important thing with credit is to establish good credit habits. The first thing is to pay your bills on time, and then you won't get these calls. And if you get them, they're scams. The second thing is to take care of your past, to put your past behind you. A lot of people will tell you, oh, don't worry about that old bill because it got switched to a collection company. That's not true at all. Collection companies can sue you. They can. It happens every day. You cannot ignore old debts simply because they're old or because I never made a deal with that collection company. You cannot ignore them. You need to negotiate a settlement. Look at that right there. I'm loving this. Negotiate. So step 4, negotiate a settlement offer. Now, what I typically say is if this is a third party company, meaning a collection company, debt collector, or somebody that's not the original creditor, try to get them to settle for removal. That means take it off my credit completely. I don't want it on there at all. In terms of settling this debt, the thing that I am looking for and that I want in return for payment is I want you to remove this. Now, one of the most important things with this, when you're negotiating your settlement, get it in writing. If it's not written, it's not real. You know, you call in and they say things like, oh, yeah, we'll do that for you. Once you pay us, we'll go ahead and then we'll remove it in 30 to 45 days. Nah, nah. Okay, can you send me something? Well, we'll send you something after you get the payment. Nah, I'm gonna need that money up front. And a lot of people will think, oh, well, you know, they record those phone calls so they can just go back and look. No, they're not gonna go back. They're not gonna go back and listen to the phone call for your benefit. They'll go back and listen to the phone call for them, but they won't go back for you. I promise you, the moment you pay that bill, they're going to forget that phone call ever existed and you'll have a paid collection on your credit report. That's not what you want. You want it removed because a paid collection looks bad. Always. So get it in writing. Get whatever you negotiate in writing. If you negotiate that you're going to make 5 monthly payments, who are you making the payments to? When are the payments due? How much are the payments due? Who, what, when, where, how, and why. And at the end of these payments, what's going to happen? Get all of that in writing before you make your first payment. Is it going to include interest? Get it in writing. Everything has to be in writing. If it's not written, it's not real. Okay? So that's it. So when you ask me the question is, do I have to pay the bill? This is all the stuff that we go through before we do that. Now, if you have a debt and you're like, hey, this is a lot, I need some help with that, that's what we're here for. We literally do steps 1 through 4 for you. That's what Credit One USA offers. So if you don't want to call and validate these debts and you don't want to send out these letters and you don't want to make these settlement offers, that's what we're here for. Give us a shout. You can call us at 855-273-3663, or you can visit us online at www.creditoneusa.com. So you can also message us right here on Facebook and Instagram to ensure that you get the help that you need. Now, I am going to go back through these messages. If I did not answer your question, and if you have credit questions, go ahead and post them now. This is what I do. Now, if I don't get enough questions, you know I will jump off of here because y'all like talking to me and I like talking back. So let's talk. So I got some, hey, somebody said they got a birthday. Miss Angela, when your birthday? You got to tell us. My son's birthday is 2 weeks from Sunday. So I think, yeah, the 23rd. I will have a 16-year-old, my baby. I don't know. We just growing up around this place. Michael said, you are the king of petty. Let's see. Validate the debt. So the 4 steps: validate the debt. Number 2, check your state statute of limitations. Number 3, make sure the collector company, make sure the company can collect on the debt. Number 4, negotiate your settlement offers, and always, always, always get it in writing. Patience in this. Hey, Chris, how you doing? Look at that. She said January 2nd. So we got New Year's Day. Now I know somebody born on the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th of January. Look at it. I'm getting my numbers up. Y'all, eventually, I'm going to know somebody born on all 365 days a year. 366 if you include the leap year. I'm literally working on it. I don't know why I want to know somebody born every day, but I really do. It's like a little weird thing about me. And, you know, in the end, I'm going to be able to tell somebody happy birthday every day. Ain't that cool? Because every day is somebody's. January 7th, come through with the birthdays. Okay. I need to purchase a car, and I have a balance that I need to settle. But how long will it take for it to show paid on my report? Typically, when you purchase a vehicle, you have about 30 to 45 days before it updates. So normally your creditors report monthly. You can actually look at your credit report and see exactly when they report. So if they report, let's just say on the 15th of the month, I often say the transaction needs to be settled, usually for revolving accounts like credit cards, about a week before. So I would say by the 8th, if it reported on the 15th, to ensure that it had enough time to post and do that. So normally I say 30 to 45 days. Sometimes with installment loans, they will hold the check for longer. So they may hold the check for 2 to 3 weeks, which would increase it to maybe 1 to 2 months before the account shows as closed or paid in full. But always, if you're doing something like that and you're making those kind of arrangements, you can always get a payoff letter. And if you get one of those letters, you can present that to your next creditor and say, oh, no, 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 it's not reported, but see, I have proof that this debt has been paid. You can even actually send that letter in and get the credit bureaus to maybe update it within that 30 to 45 day time frame if they take longer. So that's one question. It says, and if I settle, can I get a charge off my report? You can negotiate for anything to be removed from your report. So it depends on who you're negotiating with. Typically, in revolving accounts with original creditors, it's usually more difficult for them to agree to remove it. You may be able to get them to update to say paid as agreed, or paid in full, or settled in full, or even removing the payment history completely. So those may be some other options that you have, so that it shows in a more positive and favorable moment than just having the account removed. Because let's just say you had a car for 6 years and in the last 3 months it went bad, but for the other 5 years and 9 months you were doing well, then you may not want to do that. So that may not be the best option for you. So you want to look at those options. Now, Mr. Chris, you said credit union versus bank. What's the difference, or is it just personal relationships that has to do with the banking institution? Um, no, credit unions and banks are actually completely different. As a credit union member, you're actually a owner of the bank. You pay that whatever that fee is, $5, $10, or whatever, and you actually buy shares into your bank, into your credit union. I'm sorry, not your bank. Also, credit unions are typically local. Now, this excludes the small banks like, let's just say around here we have Independent Bank and Eva Bank. Those are regional banks, so those are only in the area, so they're still more like credit unions than traditional banks like, let's just say, Regions or Wells Fargo or Chase or someplace like that. I like credit unions because the smaller credit unions tend to make decisions on a local level. Right here in Huntsville, most of the decisions about lending is made right there on Wind Drive. I mean, like, you may go over there and actually talk to a manager or the vice president or something of the business, because they're made on a local level, because this is it. Whereas the lending practices are local, their rates are based on what the market is here. They're designed to help you here, because if this community fails, they automatically fail because they're directly tied to this area. That's the cool part and the bad part of local banking. The same thing happens, the same thing doesn't happen with like Wells Fargo. If God forbid something happened and the market totally crashed in Huntsville, Wells Fargo may close their doors and they're going to be just fine, because they got New York and California and Florida and Georgia and Kentucky and Tennessee and everywhere else, and they're okay. If something happens and the market collapses here, Rocket City Federal Credit Union is done, because this is it. They're not in Georgia and New York and California, so there's nothing that offsets it. They're also making decisions right there at their location. And so, for some things, I recommend using a credit union, because where your money is also where your investment is. Redstone does things to invest in this community because their survival is based on this community's survival. So when when the tornadoes came through Redstone back in 2016, came through Alabama, Redstone immediately started giving out loans to everybody. Hey, you get a loan, you get a loan, you get a loan, get your loan. Hey, I got you. I'll hold you and tie you over till you get your money and your life back. Now, here's the downside. When the tornadoes came through in 2016, Redstone was closed and couldn't nobody get no money out. So I recommend doing most of your banking at a local credit union, but also having you some money somewhere else. So for me, I have five different banking institutions that I use. A couple of them are just for savings, and so I don't really touch them. So I don't really care, money's still there, we're good. And then I have my three basic ones that I use regularly. Redstone actually happens to be one of them because it's local, it's convenient, and it does me some things. I also have a major bank that I use on a consistent, regular basis because it offers me some things that Redstone actually just doesn't. And so the good part is having that mix. And so if something tragic happened again and Redstone was shut down, I still got my money over here and I'm good. That's not always the case. So I know that was a long answer, Chris, but the best thing I can tell you is get both. But do that and then make them compete. I don't care if it's Redstone or Chase. Whoever's going to give me the lowest interest rate is who's going to get my car loan deal. Because I'm not going to pay 6% just because it's Redstone when I can get 2.9 at Chase. That's not good banking. So it depends on what you want, what products they offer, and what you're looking to do. But as far as just having an account, I typically say do it at Redstone. Hey, Miss Marilyn, how are you today, love? That's my poo, y'all. Y'all got some more questions? I know that was a long one, but that's what I do. So if you're joining us late, I'm going to go over this really quickly. The question says, what do you do if you got an old bill? Do you pay it or not? The answer is maybe. First question is, did you validate the account? Is it yours? Does it belong to you? Is the amounts right? Do they have all the information about the account? That's one. Number two, check your statute of limitations because depending on when you did it, it may not be collectible anymore. So some of that stuff doesn't matter. Number three, make sure the company can collect. Oh, you know what? Let me do it this way because Miss Angela was taking that. Number one, validate the debt. Now, is it yours? Is the amount right? Is the dates right? Do they have all the information? Number two, check your state statute of limitations. Do they have it? Can they collect on it? Number three, make sure the company can collect the debt. Hey, you don't want to pay the wrong person because that don't count as a payment. That's just you giving away some money. And number four, once you do all of that, go ahead and negotiate you a settlement offer. And most importantly with that, get it in writing. If it's not written, it's not real. So we do that. Now, if y'all have more questions, I'm going to go ahead and get them to post them here. I like this little thingy where I can put your questions up there. Y'all see that? This little technology thing I'm going to have some fun with this. Look, Miss Angela said, if I can settle, can I get a charge off my report? Yes. Yes, you can. I like this. Y'all got to keep these questions coming. I'm loving this. I really, really am. It's a cool little thing. Wait till I get it working on Instagram too. Yeah, I'm excited. It's like a kid in Christmas with a whole brand new toy. That's what I feel like. All right, so I'm going to give y'all 2 minutes, and if I don't see no questions in the next 2 minutes, I'm going to jump off of here because what about an old judgment? Ooh, Now, see, judgments are a little different because judgments, again, there's a statute of limitations that come into play there, but judgments are based on the collectability and the statute of limitations for the judgment. Now, the judgment is different than the statute of limitations on the initial debt. So what happens is you went to court or you didn't show up for court and they went to court and they got a judgment against you. Now, in the state of Alabama, on a judgment, they can collect for 10 years and then they can renew it one time and collect for an additional 10 years. So that means they can collect for 20 years. So let's just say if they waited 6 years to sue you and sued you right before the statute of limitations, they can collect on that thing for up to 26 years. That's a huge amount of time. Plus, you pay interest and court fees and attorney fees and all of that stuff with it. So it gets outrageous. You can still settle it and do all of those other steps to it, but it gets up there. But that extends that statute of limitations. Now, in Michigan, y'all, my poor Michiganders, it is valid for 10 years and then you can renew it for infinity. Like, there's no cap that says after 20 years you can't renew this thing anymore. So they, as long as they renew it before the 10 years are up, they can just keep doing it and keep going and keep going. I remember we had a member initially who had a judgment, I want to say somewhere between $800 and $1,000. And it had been renewed for almost 30 years. That thing was somewhere, like, I want to say she had paid somewhere close to, I think they took her taxes every year, which was somewhere between $1,000 to $1,500. So she had paid like $30,000 on this thing, and she still owed like $15,000 on an $800 bill. Yeah. So it gets really ridiculous and it can grow exponentially. And in some places, they just don't have limits on it. We told her, we were like, listen, file bankruptcy and just put that in there. Or come up with 15 grand for it. But those judgments can also prevent you from being able to purchase a home because they can attach the judgment to your home and then foreclose on your home. And lenders don't want to risk their investment based on something else that you did. How do you know who has the judgment trying to buy a house, but it shows up the day before closing? Okay, so I'm assuming that they did a liens search on you, and that's where they found it at. So what you can do is you can go to the court where the judgment was issued, and they'll tell you who the attorney of record is, and then you can contact the attorney of record and do a backward search from that way. If the companies went out of business or something like that, you may be able to get them to do a release or something like that. But yeah, you got to work back that way. And unfortunately, because it's probably past the statute of limitations, it's no longer showing on your credit report, but it's still out there. So contact the courts and then work backwards from there. I'm sorry that happened. I've had some people do that. I've had some people also go through CAVERS. If y'all don't know, CAVERS is the system where the government checks money to the government, where like this is where you get caught for not paying your student loans and stuff. So yeah. I wonder if I'm live on Instagram now. We're going to check and see. So yeah, we've been playing with this thing in the background and stuff like that to see, because we're trying to do the simultaneous broadcasting. I know that we're doing it live on Facebook and YouTube, but we're also trying to make sure that we're doing it on Instagram as well. So y'all bear with me a little bit. Because I got a lot going on. It's a whole lot. Yay! Hi, Instagram. Hey, y'all. You're joining us late, but I'm excited because we actually figured out how to get Instagram included. Y'all, this is crazy. So if you're just now joining us, I'm Millie with Credit One USA, and this is our first time going live on Instagram. Y'all Facebook people, just bear with me for a second. It's a long, lengthy process. I'm literally 30 minutes into this broadcast and I finally got y'all working. But today's topic, we're talking about paying old bills. And really quickly, I'm just going to go over the 4 things and the 4 steps to finding out, are you responsible for paying the old bill? The first step is number 1, validate the debt. When I say validate the debt, I want you to make sure, 1, it is your debt. Number 2, that the amounts are right, the history. You want the entire history of the debt when you validate it. Once you validate the debt and you see that it belongs to you, the next thing you want to do is take that whole information they just gave you, run that through and check the statute of limitations. Every state has a length of time where they say, hey, after this point, it's cut off. You can no longer sue or collect on the debt. So they can't pursue you. They can't sue you or do anything like that, can't garnish your wages. And therefore, you may or may not want to collect the debt. Once you do that, you want to move on to number 3. Make sure the company that you're about to pay for this debt can collect the debt. You do not want to pay the wrong person. That will frustrate you beyond belief. So once you do that and you make sure this company is right, the amounts are right, you validated that it was yours, they did it right, they're supposed to collect this money, that's when we move over into negotiate your settlement. Now you get everything that you want out of this deal. If you're going to spend your money, you better get everything you want because there's no backseats and they're probably not going to fix that later. So you want to tell them up front, hey, I want you to remove this debt. Hey, as part of this, I want you to take this completely off my credit report. Or I want you to change all of the negative marks to positive. Whatever it is that you want, negotiate it. And when you're negotiating it, the only thing that matters is that you get it in writing. If you don't get it in writing, it's not real. They could say they said that, or oops, they didn't say that, and I don't remember hearing that. And I promise you, they're never going to keep that video or audio recording that they told you that they do. They just lose the tape every time. So those are the 4 steps to determine whether or not you should pay those debts. So I hope that was helpful for you. And the cool thing is, if you have questions, you can post them here and I'll answer those as well. So there's that. Now we're answering some other questions. So if you have credit questions, please feel free to post them and we're going to get through this thing together. And I'm loving this. I'm so excited to be live on Instagram. Y'all don't know how much hard work this was to try to get this thing working. So yay me. Now, we did have some other questions, my Instagram people, that were asked. So I'm going to go ahead and post those now. Somebody said, I need to purchase a car and I have a balance that needs to be settled, but how long will that take to show up on my report? Once you settle the debt, it typically takes about 30 to 45 days for the information to update. Now, on your credit report, there's this little section called report date. And you can look on your accounts anywhere on your credit report and you can see that date. And that's the date that they update every single month. Now, that's not the date you pay it. It's not necessarily the beginning of the month. And it changes from creditor to creditor. So it could be 16 different days, depending on how many accounts you have. But usually every 30 days, that thing will update. I tell people 30 to 45 days because it kind of depends on when you catch it. If it updates on the 5th of the month and you paid it today, you're probably not going to catch it in time for it to update tomorrow. That's just how it works. And that goes for anything, not just settling a debt. That goes for paying your credit cards and stuff like that. So if you notice you paid a credit card off, but it didn't report this month, that's because you didn't catch it in enough time. So there's that. Now, somebody also asked, if I settle, can I get the charge off of my credit report? Can they get it removed? Anything that's on your credit report can be removed. You need to negotiate these things in advance, though, for them to do it and get it in writing. So Mr. Chris asked, what is the difference between a credit union versus a bank? Now, that was a really long question, but the difference is basically most banks operate on a national level or more areas than that, whereas credit unions are typically regional. So they're depending upon this particular area to be successful so that they can be successful. Unlike banks, which let's just say Wells Fargo. If you live in Alabama and Alabama's market and our whole life crashes before our very eyes, Wells Fargo may just shut up and they'll be fine because they have locations in Louisiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, and all of them other places. However, if you live in Alabama and the market crashes, Redstone's going to be in a world of trouble because there ain't nowhere else but here. I think they may have a location or two in Tennessee, but does that really matter? Not really. So that's it. Now, somebody else said, what do you do about an old judgment? They said, what do you do about an old judgment? How do you know who has it? I'm trying to buy a house and it just showed up before closing. I said, contact the courts. The courts knows who did the judgment because they issued the paperwork for it. Once you contact the court will say, hey, this is the attorney of record. You contact the attorney of record. The attorney of record will say, hey, I don't have this or I do have it. If I do have it, this is what you got to do. If I don't have it, you need to talk to these people because they got it. And you work your way backwards from there. Now, somebody said, I'm late, but did you say anything about garnishments? Garnishments mean, and for those who don't know, that means that there was a debt, it was past due, there was collection efforts, and then it went to the courts. Somebody went to court, they got a judgment. That meant that they said, hey, this is right, you owe this money. The judgment was not satisfied, so now they are garnishing your wages, usually up to 25%, depending on the state, or they are levying your bank accounts. That's another form of it. Yes, guys, they can go into your bank account and play snatchies. And typically when they do that, they get to hold it for 30 days. Yeah. Talk about mess up a whole bunch of money. When they play snatchies in bank accounts, they mess up a whole lot of money. I wouldn't suggest ever having to go that far. Now, if you have a garnishment and you did not if you have a garnishment, you can always contact the courts to see if you can make arrangements to less. Sometimes if you don't make enough money, they can lower it. You just have to report your information. You can also contact the attorney still and make arrangements to stop the garnishment. So there are still some options, but you want to get on it and be as proactive as you can about it, or else eventually they'll get their information and they'll do that. So somebody says, how long after out of debt court and you repair my credit do I need to wait to start rebuilding after the final 15 minutes? Out of debt court, I'm assuming by debt court you mean like bankruptcy. Yeah. So I'm assuming by debt court you mean bankruptcy. You can actually repair your credit while you're still in bankruptcy. You don't have to wait. Guys, you can repair your credit at any point. It doesn't matter, except for if you're still going to make bad choices. And I know that sounds bad, but I'm just going to be one of the things that we believe in here is being honest with our members. And because we want you to be successful, I'm going to say this. If you are struggling to pay your bills, meaning I don't have enough money to live and to pay my mortgage, my rent, my car note, this isn't a good time to get in credit repair. We need to start with budgeting. And if you need budgets, I literally just printed me out one, I want to say today. Ha! Look at this. Y'all think I'd be joking. This right here. Y'all see it? Personal monthly budget. This is a great starting point. If you need one of these, you can inbox us and we will send you your own budget form for you to fill out. So, with the budget and things like that, you need to start there because we don't want you to get in something that's not affordable, because then it's going to mess you up even more. If you're not paying your credit card so you can pay me, every month you're getting a new late and you're just hurting yourself. And I don't want that for you. I want to be proactive and assist you. But our job is to help you. And if you're hurting you, I can't help you while you're hurting you. So that's always the first thing that I start with, is doing that. Now Miss Anita says, so I should just write out the bankruptcy. How will it affect my credit? Well, once you get into bankruptcy, you kind of messed up your credit. Now, if you're in a chapter 13, which is what I'm assuming that you're in, which is a repayment plan, you can still improve your credit while you're going through this. So one doesn't stop the other. Bankruptcy isn't about your credit. Bankruptcy is about your money. And what bankruptcy says is simply, hey, I got in over my head and I need some help. I need you to help me to settle these things and take care of this so that I can put my past behind me and do this because I'm over my head. I'm overextended, and that it is what it is. Now there's two ways to go about it. You do chapter 13, where you're making your repayments. Cool. At the end of that, all of these creditors are done. Now, there may have negative marks on there where it says bankruptcy and things of that nature, which you need to address. And you need to make sure that you're building going forward so that you're setting yourself up for success. And then there's chapter 7 bankruptcy, and that says, hey, I ain't paying none of y'all back. Take it. It's a wash. I can't do nothing with it. Usually takes about 3 to 6 months for that to go through, and it is discharged, not dismissed. It's discharged, and once it's discharged, you then are able to rebuild. You can rebuild during it or afterwards. So while you're in those phases, it is super duper important that you start establishing healthy credit actions, because if you're not doing healthy credit techniques, then you'll be doing this. I came in at the end of your budget. I can use some budgeting help, Miss Vanessa. Okay, Miss Vanessa, send me a message directly on Facebook, inbox Credit One USA, and I'll send you out our monthly budget template. No charge, no nothing. It's a great thing to help you with it. And then if you have questions, we can go back and forth from there. I'll send you an email where you can email me, so we're not doing everything via Facebook, because I mean, your business is private and I want to keep it that way. But yes, we'll do that. If you got one payment left on your garnishment, boo, you almost done. It is what it is at this point. Let them have that last little bit, and we'll never be here again. Just never be here again, okay, love? And we're gonna make it through this. Absolutely. Listen, this is what Talk to Me Tuesday is all about. 2022 is all of our year. We finna rock this thing like never before. And the best way that we can do it is two things. One, I need you guys to share this, because I want to tell everybody that I can about this. And the only way I can tell them is through you, because I ain't got that many friends. And once my friend circle is done, I'm kind of done. And I have beat my friends over the head with credit stuff. They may not even want to hear credit from me no more, because they be like, listen, well, I paid a credit card. What you do about that credit card? Tell me about that credit card. So they ain't really feeling that no more. So I want to make sure that you guys get it, and that you're awesome and taking care of it, and, living your best life, because that's what we want for everybody. Is 2022 is about keeping money in your pocket. And in order to do that, we got to have better credit. All right, y'all. So I think I answered all the questions here. Now, Miss Anita, now that the garnishment is almost over, you got to make sure that you're building properly, because although that part shouldn't be reported on your credit, the initial account may. And if the initial account is on there, you want to make sure that it's reporting closed, paid, and all of that stuff, because you're done paying for it. So make sure they're updating it correctly, okay? Now, if y'all have more questions, I got about 15 minutes. But if y'all don't ask questions, y'all know I'm going to jump off of here, because my phone is blowing up. Now, if you want Credit One USA to assist you, please feel free to give us a shout. You can call us at 855-273-3663, or you can visit us online at www.creditoneusa.com. You can also book appointments through Facebook. And for my Instagram people, you can Instagram us directly and we'll respond. Do that. Now, Miss Anita, really quickly, you said you're making sure the courts keep track. The courts will stop their garnishments when it's over, when it's supposed to be. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the credit bureaus will be reported. So again, there's two sides to it. Once the courts are involved, now you're dealing with the legal side that has nothing to do with the credit reporting side. So they're dealing with the money part. Courts don't report to the credit bureaus. Ever. So anytime you see your judgments on your credit report, tax liens on your credit reports, or bankruptcies, if you look on your credit report, they'll have this little line on there, and they'll talk about LexisNexis. LexisNexis is a third-party company that goes and gets this information, because the courts don't report it. So it is your obligation to ensure that you get that information updated, because if not, they may not do it, and then you'll pay the debt and you still got this outstanding bill because they ain't updated, and you don't want that. Now, Miss Morgan, Hey, beautiful. I'm sorry. Me and Miss Pam used to work together a long time ago. I loved her. And then she retired and she left me, and now she's out being all great and stuff. But anyway, say, is there a way to close out credit cards without affecting your credit score? Miss Morgan, that really depends on how many accounts you have. On average, a person needs to have between 6 and 10 accounts. If you've had 6 or 10 accounts and you've had, let's just say you have 15 credit cards and you've had 10 of them for 30 or more years, I'm just throwing hypotheticals out there. Um, you can potentially close some of those that you don't use without that. Now, some of them may have closed already. Are you using all of these cards? So you want to talk about that stuff first before you just do that. Y'all, my battery's finna die on my on my computer. So the first thing that you want to do is check to see which card you're looking at closing out. I typically say the longer cards that you had, the more longevity you have, you probably want to keep those cards open, and then get rid of some of the newer cards that you may not be using. Or if the newer cards have the better benefits, you might want to keep those and get rid of some of them other things. So that's the most important part, is looking at what you have first and then making a decision from there. Also, the limits matter. Keep the higher limit credit cards. Don't get rid of your $10,000 card and keep that $300 one. That's really not going to be the best deal for you. Y'all, I'm so terrible. I don't even know where my plug is. Y'all just pray for your girl. She just out here bad. Whew. Now, let me see. All right, y'all, we good to go. Got it. Is it right there? I think it's right. Okay, yeah, it says it's charging now. Okay. Y'all gonna find out I don't really know this much about technology. Okay. Anywho, let's get through this. I got about 10 minutes left, so we'll do that. Now, we'll do that. So that was Miss Morgan. What is this thing called the black web? The black web, also known as the dark web, all of this stuff, because of the Equifax data breach and other things, a lot of people's information is out there in a system where hackers come in and people come in and they kind of, steal your information. So, yeah, a lot of people are out there. You just really want to mind your information. Miss Bell, I'm going to do that. Miss Bell, you said, what's the black web? Yeah. So a lot of people have their information out there. You just really want to monitor it for that. So Mr. Michael said, or Mikhail said, yeah, Chapman said, because I mess up names and I don't like my name being messed up, so I try not to mess up other people's. Said, if you're trying to raise your credit score, what's a good technique? First thing I will always tell people, pay down your credit card balances. All your open revolving credit cards, pay them down. Don't be late on anything. These are basic strategies that will help you improve your credit, and then along with time and patience, like Mr. Chris said earlier, patience and discipline. These are things that work for everybody. How can I get a 10,000 or higher credit card? Do they go off credit, income, or both? Both. I'm not going to give you access to $10,000 if you only make $3,000 a year. The likelihood of you running that thing up and me not getting my money back is extremely high. So your credit score matters, and also your payment history. Just because you make $300,000 a year does not matter if you don't pay nobody back on time. If everything on your credit is late, I don't care. I don't trust you. The likelihood of me getting my money back is low. So when you want a higher credit limit, you need to have a higher credit score, you need to have on-time payment history, and you need to have the income that supports offering you $10,000. So Miss Kathy says, What about all those other credit repair people that say they can fix it for thousands of dollars but don't educate you about the real issues or the correct way to repair your credit? I can't tell you about what other people do. Listen, people say all kind of stuff. We do what we do and we're really amazing at it. We've been doing it for over 15 years and it's $1 to get started and $89 a month on a month-to-month basis with no long-term contract. Now, what I can tell you is this: I'm not paying nobody upfront thousands of dollars to do nothing. I just don't trust you like that. What if you run off with my money? What am I gonna do then? No, I need more from that. In order to trust people, I need you to prove it. That's why we don't make you pay your first payment for 2 weeks. So you're going to talk to us. We're going to pull your reports. We're going to go over the pan and we're going to start challenging the information before you give us anything more than $1. See, we're already going to be working for you because you're our boss. And hey, boss, we just want to get paid. That's why we work the way that we do, because we want to build trust and we understand that things happen. There's nothing to do about it. No, Miss Bell, there's not really much that you can do about the black web. Just monitor your credit. Everybody should be monitoring your credit. The free ways to do that is through Free credit score through Experian. Gives you your Experian score every month for free, and it does monitoring. And believe it or not, y'all, I use Credit Karma myself because although Credit Karma scoring ain't right, they will tell me if somebody did an inquiry. I get that little alert and things, so you do that. So I have several credit cards that I do not use, and I was told that if I don't use them, that the creditors may close the card. Is this true? Absolutely. Like anything else, if you ain't using it, you can lose it. If you don't pay your credit cards, if you don't use them, you'll do that. What I recommend people to do is, if these aren't credit cards that you want to keep, let's just say if they have annual fees and stuff like that, I might let them go. But if they're, let's just say, I've had this JCPenney card since 2012, you probably want to keep that. That's a 10-year-old card. A lot of people don't have cards that old. Go buy you some socks. You got to get socks anyway. Go buy them, order them from JCPenney, get them shipped, and then pay that card off. And now you've had activity. And so they're like, oh, she is using it. She didn't forget about us. And she'll keep it. So that's important. So Miss Bell said, at what point does our contract end? Our contract is month to month. So it ends when you want to. So let's just say, it depends on your credit profile and what your goals are. Most of our people are here because they want a 750 or better score. You get to your 750 and you're good. Shoot me an email. Hey, Millie, I made it. First of all, I'm going to call you and dance and do all my like, ooh, she bought her house. She got her new car. I'm going to do all of that with y'all. And for those of you who don't know me, yes, I really do all of that. I do. I love seeing y'all great. And then you say, hey, I want to be done. I say, okay, well, you got to send it in writing. Send it writing. There may be a final bill depending on when you do it. And boom, you're done. Like, that's it. Then I got some people who be like, girl, please, you done got me this house and this car. I'm never leaving you. I'm not going to call any of those people out, but they're never leaving me. They'd be like, listen, I'm just going to keep you around. And we have a rate for people like that. If you just want us to monitor your information, we have a rate for that so that you can just monitor and you just hang out with us. So yeah, we do it all. So, y'all came through in this last half. I love it. Come through with the come through. I love it. Y'all keep these questions coming. This is what it's all about. We want to make sure that the information that we're giving you is relatable and something that you can use. It's not just important that it's great information and it's interpreted well, but we want to give you actual things that you can use. So if you have credit questions or suggestions for future credit topics, please inbox us at Credit One USA. You can always, if you need assistance and you want to be a member, you can sign up on our website at www.creditoneusa.com or by giving us a call at 855-273-3663. You can schedule appointments through Instagram as well as Facebook as well. So it is 2:57. Whew. I feel like I got like a second win with y'all. I love it. Thank you so much for tuning in for Talk to Me Tuesday, sponsored by Credit One USA and the 750 Score Challenge. I again am Millie Gunn here with Credit One USA, a certified financial educator, telling you Happy New Year. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, you guys, practice your whatever you're practicing to stay safe. Wash your hands, use your hand sanitizer, wear your mask, social distancing, you know, cough into your elbow, whatever. Bro, whatever you can do to stay alive, do it. Do it. Also, make sure you like our page, subscribe, and share this information. This is not just for you. This is for somebody else who may have the same questions as you. So until next time, thank you guys so much for tuning in on behalf of Credit One USA and the 750 Score Challenge family. I look forward to seeing you again next week. So until then, take care of yourselves and each other. So long for now. Here and yay! Bye.